it just keeps getting worse. Recently, the visual novel developer Argent, developer of soon-to-be-released Order Us, made a Reddit post about how their visual novel got banned on Steam. Here we go again! In this post, they detail how Steam had approved their demo no problem, but the final build was denied, essentially accusing them of sexualizing minors due to the inclusion of one of the visual novel's two main heroines named Mocha. Now, if you don't know what happens next, Steam nukes your game. No developer page, no second chance, it's all gone. Now, this would obviously hit any developer hard, no matter how big or small. But many visual novels that come to Steam are localizations that have a pre-existing demand, which is why they were getting localized in the first place. So there'll always be a base amount of sales no matter what platform the visual novel ends up on. Indie visual novels such as Order Us don't have that luxury. What you essentially have here is a developer that paid out of their own pocket to create this visual novel and then worked tirelessly to garner wishlists, which is Steam's main function of reminding users what they had been interested in. Since Steam is many people's main platform, this is ideal and one of the only real ways to have an impactful launch in the vast sea of video games. So when Steam suddenly denies your visual novel without a chance to appeal, well, you're kind of fucked. Your visual novel will no longer be on the most used storefront. Everyone who wishlisted your game will no longer be notified of its launch, and thus all your marketing goes out the window and you're left with launching on smaller storefronts that'll get you a fraction of the sales you would have made on Steam, thus eliminating profit potential. So essentially what happened to Argent here is they got led on by Steam, since Steam accepted their demo and subsequently gave no feedback on the now problem child Mocha, strung Argent along until a week before his visual novel's release, and then dropped this bombshell on him with no room for discussion. If I make a video every time Steam bans a visual novel off its platform, we'll be here all day. But I'm diving back into this discussion because that is truly fucking bullshit. Now, of course, this situation is not black and white because of the choices made by the developer and the information we already have on Steam, but the result we ended up with could not have been worse. As you may already know if you watched my last video on Steam, Steam has an obvious bias against visual novels, specifically those incorporating an anime style. Inherently, most anime styles make the characters look younger than what their age typically would suggest. This is no problem in an RPG or card game, but once you add the 18+ category to your game, which is not the category for mature rated games that kids have been playing for decades, no, we're talking about porn. Your game is going to be heavily scrutinized because Valve doesn't want to break any laws. The elephant in the room is that almost every Japanese visual novel, even ones that are full-on nuki gays, skirt around this issue by not releasing in the 18+ section on Steam, but instead by releasing normally with an outside patch with the age content. These patches are frowned upon by Steam, but to my knowledge, they won't take down games that have them if they pass Steam's final build inspection. Of course, getting to that point isn't free because sus content such as lolly or sister routes, Tenshi Sozo Reboot, will still get the axe, but I digress. At any rate, Argent decided to release Order Us as an 18+ game, confident it was within the bounds of what is accepted. Unfortunately, this was a mistake. Meet Mocha. She's awkward, she's a virgin, and her very existence cost Argent thousands of dollars because it was due to her that the game was rejected for sexualizing minors. Now I can sympathize with Argent here. Their aim for Mocha was to depict her as a goofy, petite 19-year-old girl, and she doesn't look as lolly as they come. But unfortunately, that doesn't really cut it for Steam. If I have to be frank, I feel myself, as well as many others, are too close to the issue to be able to give a fair, unbiased opinion. At least for me personally, I have read so many visual novels that I have been desensitized to lollies but even I can see that Mocha ticks those lolly boxes, especially in one of the H scenes that I saw where the perspective makes Mocha look very petite. Unfortunately, making an 18+ visual novel in a typical anime style with a petite, flat-chested heroine is simply out of the question if you want to launch on Steam. This is pretty much common knowledge at this point, but it's yet another reminder to any indie developer that you really need to curate your content according to Steam's guidelines, even if they themselves don't actually follow their guidelines. And pray to the gods that Mary, Gatekeeper of Moe, is not the one reviewing your game. Again, do not let that distract you from the fact Steam got Argent's hopes up and subsequently shat on his efforts. They tried to release Order Us on Steam in the honest, fair way, and that's respectable. But if every other adult visual novel besides the furry and 3D ones are releasing with a patch, it's probably good to follow in their footsteps. There are many other reasons to release with a patch outside of the 18+ category besides improving your Steam approval chance. One advantage is the game will be seen by a lot more people through recommendations and sales. Most importantly, however, it'll be seen by everyone, not just those users who enable viewing 18+ games, which expands your reach exponentially. This might seem counterproductive since many people who view your game may not want adult content, but at least for me, I don't browse the 18+ section, even as a guy who always gets VN patches, because it's full of low-effort 3D games or extremely niche porn visual novels I'd never be interested in the first place. Argent did mention that not releasing with a patch was his biggest mistake, and it's a really unfortunate mistake to make because it can very well be your last. I hope that despite this setback, Argent doesn't get demotivated from future visual novel development, and if you're curious about Order Us, you can check it out from Argent's itch.io page in the description below. In conclusion, Steam hates visual novels, and whilst Argent sort of owned gold by not releasing with a patch, it doesn't excuse Steam's negligence of allowing Order Us on their store in the first place if they so very clearly were not going to be approving of Mocha, who was clearly a major character. Thanks for watching.